Good morning, children. Yesterday you have learned about plant tissues. Plant tissue, that these are of two types: meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Then you have learned about the three types of meristematic tissue: apical meristem, intercalary meristem and lateral meristem. Now today we will discuss about permanent tissues. Permanent tissues are further of two types: simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissues. Complex permanent tissue. Now, what is the difference between these two types? Simple permanent tissue, both are tissues, means both are groups of cells. Okay, so there is a difference between the type of cells here. In simple permanent tissues, it is made up of only one kind of cells. Okay, means all the cells are same. But here different kind of cells together makes the tissue. Different kind of cells. Now question arises that we have defined tissue as similar kind of cells performing a particular function, but here I have written different, so it doesn't make any difference. Different kind of cells are there, but all the different kind of cells in a group perform a particular function or perform a same function. Perform same function or a particular function means all are together responsive for a particular function, means although they are different from each other but all are responsible for a same function. Okay, that's why such type of tissue is known as complex permanent tissue. And in simple permanent tissue, the tissue is made up of the same kind of cells, all are responsible for the same function here also. Okay, now today we will going deep in the simple permanent tissue. This simple permanent tissue is further of three types: parenchyma. Second type is collenchyma. And third type is sclerenchyma. Now, firstly, parenchyma. Parenchyma cells are loosely packed, have thin cell walls. Loosely packed means they are having intercellular spaces. Okay, and the main function of these cells is storage of food. Okay, now parenchyma may also be of two types depending on the conditions. Like in green plants, some of the cells of parenchyma have chlorophyll and perform the function of photosynthesis or help in the function of photosynthesis. As they are having chlorophyll, so the name for such kind of parenchyma is chlorenchyma, because they are having chlorophyll inside them. Okay, and in some of the aquatic plants, the parenchyma cells have air cavities. In the intercellular spaces of these cells, there are air cavities which make the aquatic plants to float. Okay, so such parenchymatic cells which have air cavities are known as aerenchyma. I'm writing here, it is not visible there. Aerenchyma. Okay, so this is about parenchyma. Parenchyma are loosely packed cells. Okay, they have thin cell walls. Function is storage of food. Okay, they are loosely packed means they have intercellular spaces. Now depending on the condition, parenchyma may also be of two types. If in plants, in photosynthetic plants, some parenchymatic cells have chlorophyll filled inside them, then these parenchyma are known as chlorenchyma. And in aquatic plants, parenchyma cells have air cavities which make them to float on water. Such parenchyma are known as arenchyma. Now collenchyma. Collenchyma are providing the flexibility to the plant. Flexibility to the plant. Due to presence of this, the plant, the branches or leaves can be shaken because the collenchyma is flexible. Okay, they can be folded without breaking. Branches or twigs can be folded like tendrils in plants. This can easily be twisted but do not break. It is because of collenchyma which provide the flexibility to the plant, yet it also provide the strength to the plant. Okay, now the type of cells in collenchyma, these are not loosely packed. Okay, they have intercellular space but very little intercellular space, unlike parenchyma where parenchyma were having large intercellular spaces. Here very little intercellular space. Okay, and the walls in parenchyma, cell walls were thin. In collenchyma, cell walls are irregularly thick, like it is a cell, this one is the another cell. These are thickened at the corner. At the corners there is a thickening in collenchyma, means they are irregularly thickened at the corners, or they may have some intercellular spaces also but not much like parenchyma. So this is collenchyma. Now sclerenchyma, the third part is sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma, one more thing, parenchyma and collenchyma both were living cells. Okay, but sclerenchyma, it is dead cell, it is composed of dead cells. Sclerenchyma, it is composed of dead cells. Okay, the cells are thickened, highly thickened, like I am drawing some cells. They do not have any kind of intercellular space, no intercellular space in parenchyma, means they are very closely or tightly packed. The walls are highly thickened, or you can say they have very little space inside the cells, and sometimes the cells do not have any kind of space in between. They are thickened walls, and this thickening is due to lignin. Lignin is a chemical substance which provide the thickness to the walls of sclerenchymatous cells. Now what is the property of this lignin? This lignin is like a cement. Okay, it hardens after some time and makes the sclerenchymatous cells hard and stiff, so that these sclerenchymatous cells provide the hardness and stiffness to the plants. Like you have seen the coconut husk, the covering of fruits and nuts. Some nuts are having hard covering like the walnuts. Okay, so these hard things are made up of sclerenchymatous cells. So the question may be there in 1 mark question, which kind of tissue is present in coconut husk, then answer will be sclerenchymatous tissue. All the cells are dead here. They are lignified. The walls are very much thick, and this thickening is due to lignin, which provide the hardness and stiffness to the tissue. There is very little space inside the cell as well as outside. There is no intercellular space. Inside there may be a little space, very little space. Otherwise, sometimes inside also no space is there. Okay. Now, next is epidermis. Epidermis. It is protective tissue. Protective tissue. See children, AP means outside. Outside. And derm word is used for skin. Okay, means the covering. You know, skin is the covering of the body. So epidermis is outer covering of the body. And you know, in all over the plant body there is a covering of cells, which covering is known as epidermis. Okay, so outer protective covering around every part of plant. It is known as epidermis. The cells of epidermis are flat like this, and no space in between, because these are continuous cells. These are forming the thin sheet around the plant body. Okay, so this kind of flat cells are making the epidermis. Now this epidermis, the main function is protection. Okay, and these cells are also very thin. This is a single layer of cells around the plant body, around the each and every part of the plant body. Now sometimes, like in desert plants where water loss is very critical, okay, the plant tend to reserve the water for future use. In such plants this epidermis may be little thicker. It have a waxy coating over it. Epidermal cells or epidermis have a waxy coating over it in some desert plants, and this waxy coating is of cutin or cutin only. Okay, cutin, it provides the waxy coating over the epidermal cells, which provide the waterproof quality to the epidermal cells, or it prevent the water loss in the in these xerophytic or desert plants. Okay, now sometimes this waxy coating also provide protection from the foreign agents like fungal infections. Okay, so this helps in this protection plus mechanical support also. When it is thicker, it will provide a mechanical support also to the plant. Okay, now in case of leaves, you know, leaves also have epidermal cells. In leaves the epidermis have small holes in between like this. Now again a cell here also, again a cell, then a hole. So epidermal cells have some small holes or pores in between. These pores are known as stomata. So now I know that you know about stomata very well, but the thing is these stomata are present in the epidermal layer or the outer layer of the leaves, where the exchange of water takes place. These two kidney shaped cells are guard cells. Okay. Now from these pores transpiration takes place. You know, transpiration, loss of water by the plant through the stomata. So this transpiration also takes place through these stomata, and these stomatas are present in epidermal layer or epidermis of the plant. Now next is, in some plants or in most of the plants, you have heard about bark of the tree What is this? This is the dead part of the plant. Dead part of the plant. Okay. Here, what happens? The cells outside the epidermis, cells outside the epidermis turns or changes or take up some changes and changes into another type of tissue that is known as secondary meristem. Secondary meristem. It is harder, and the secondary meristem cells are formed from this epidermal layer, and after formation they cut off the connection with epidermis and form a group of dead cells which we know as cork or bark of the tree. Okay, and these secondary meristem cells or these cork cells, they have a chemical substance suberin. Suberin, it is very important, question may be asked about it. Suberin, it is a chemical, okay, in the walls of cork or bark cells which provide gas or water resistance. Water resistance means it is impervious. It is, I said, impervious. Impervious to gas and water means it doesn't allow gases and water to enter into or enter through this layer, and this layer is present in the cork or bark of the cell. That's why it is a dry part of the plant, or it is composed of all dead cells, which is secondary meristem. Okay, now this is all for today. In next class or in tomorrow's class we will take the complex permanent tissue. Thank you, children.